Nah, I mean, I don't train for knockouts. I don't train for knockouts. I train for punish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you see a joker get knocked out. Lucky punch. I didn't see the punch. Don't remember nothing. When you whoop him, Joker said, "Listen, yeah, I remember that fight, man. That was the hardest fight I had because he had a chance."
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
What do you feel like Lamont Roach is really good in? Like, do you feel like his inside game is probably like underrated? What do you feel like his best attribute is?
He just did. We got off the canvas once. It ain't about the dog with me. It's about you got that will against will. I don't know. I know I can. I ain't pushed no buttons this tank yet. I came from a
Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, didn't hold back after restarting camp with Tank. He fired shots directly at Lamont Roach, claiming Roach only fought the softest version of Davis. Reporters were granted access to Davis's camp yesterday, where Ford confidently addressed the media. When asked what would be different this time around, Ford made it clear they're not just coming to win, they're coming to dominate. That wasn't the real Tank in the ring last time, he said. Roach caught the most distracted version of him. This time, he's locked in and Roach is going to feel the difference.
We can't wait to see Kenny here, all is here. You know, everybody was putting that energy in the air.
Which I used to do behind doors, now it's in the light.
According to Coach Calvin Ford, the version of Gervonta Davis that stepped into the ring with Lamont Roach wasn't the real Tank. That wasn't the brutal knockout artist who stopped 28 out of 30 opponents. That was the softest you'll ever see. Tank, Ford said. Roach is a solid fighter, no doubt, but he fought Tank on a bad day and still only walked away with a draw. Let's see what happens when he meets Tank on a good day. Ford went on to say that the version of Davis he sees in training now is the one fans fell in love with, a relentless, focused killer. Lamont pressed the wrong button, Ford warned, and now he's about to feel what the real Tank brings when he's locked in.
Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight.
For Coach Calvin Ford, there's no denying that Gervonta Davis had a lot weighing on him before the first fight with Lamont Roach. He even recalled how Tank briefly canceled the bout, claiming he was tired of boxing altogether. I don't know if it was my absence or something else that drained him. Ford admitted, I think it was just him he was dealing with a lot. While Ford can't pinpoint exactly what went wrong, he's confident that version of Tank is gone for good. With Davis now fully recharged and back in beast mode, Ford issued a warning. Lamont Roach is going to feel all of it. He promised punishing intensity, saying their current training camp has been pure fire and Roach is walking straight into it.
He watched him, he said boom, and I see the light in Tank. You know, I just can't wait to see all of that come together. Fight night.
Roach, you know I love you and your family. We've been doing this for years. That night, I look at all the fights. I know what he coming to do. And y'all know what he coming to do. But y'all don't know. We have history. Everybody should turn into this.
As I always say, I don't promise knockouts, I promise punishment. And when it gets serious enough, the knockout comes naturally. Coach Calvin declared. One thing I can guarantee, Roach is a kind of punishment he's never felt before. While that statement fired up Tank Davis's supporters, neutral fans weren't buying the narrative that Roach didn't face the real Tank. That's just false. One fan wrote, Tank was supposed to call out Jake Paul after that fight. There's no way he would have taken it lightly. Another added, I hate lies. Tank was Tank that night. Roach just took his best shots and didn't fold. A third fan chimed in, I'm still mad the NY Commission allowed that knee slide. If Roach had won, this joke of a coach wouldn't be pushing these nonsense excuses.
And we Tank been saying this several times. He on the biggest stage of his life. And he want to show up. Are you ready for it? Are you really ready for it? Are you really ready for it? She gave me, man. Okay. Oh, he got some live people that ain't him. That's the Roach I know. So when we picked this fight, it was a fight to know, like, yo.
A third fan added, I'm glad Tank's time is coming. Nothing will be sweeter than watching Lamont Roach defeat him in the ring. I'm all in for Roach on fight night. Another wrote, part of being a true champion is knowing how to handle a setback. This is just a week from Tank and his team. Since the fight, he's been making excuses saying he could have knocked Roach out, claiming he didn't know what round it was, and all sorts of nonsense. The truth is, he met someone who could match him, and he just can't admit it. Even Lamont Roach himself pushed back on those claims, saying that Tank was definitely trying that night, he just couldn't break him.
Right now, like you said, we got to rumble. We got to rumble, so all that shit don't matter to me right now. And I'm going to take full advantage of that because it's like he got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Or he losing this fire. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the last press conference. When I got up on him, towards the end, he was getting this, you know what I'm saying? He was getting this shot. I told him, I said, oh, there that fire go right there. That's what I want to fight the best. I want to fight the best version of him.
You want the best version of Tank.
In the aftermath of the fight, a common narrative among fans was that Gervonta Davis, who entered as the heavy favorite, was overrated based on how things played out. But few people are more qualified to speak on that than Lamont Roach, who went the full 12 rounds toe-to-toe with him. During his appearance on the March 18th episode of the It Is What It Is podcast, Roach finally addressed the question head-on and set the record straight about whether he believes Davis is truly overrated.
Naj, you got anything else from Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? Obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got walking around with security. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples. Like, it's crazy. I can't do the same stuff that I used to do.
I definitely want people to know he was on his A game that night, 100%, Roach said. Just because he didn't meet the hype doesn't mean he fought a bad fight. People are calling him trash and overrated now, but that's not true. He's a good fighter. I was in there thinking, I've got to be at my best. It didn't take anything away from him. That's exactly why the fight was so good, he added. So there you have it. Both Davis and Roach now have the chance to prove who's truly the better fighter when they meet again in a highly anticipated rematch later this year.
I can't go to the grocery store. I can't go nowhere, bro. Like, I can't do nothing. And it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy because I know that that's what this come with if I get to the level that I'm supposed to be. But when it really happened to you, like, you sit back and look at it like, damn, like, this really happened.
For a long time, fans were used to seeing the familiar duo of Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis in Gervonta Davis's corner. It was like the classic pairings of Mike Tyson and Cruz D'Amato. If you look at recent examples, like Canelo with Eddie, Reynoso, or even Pacquiao with Roach, that kind of trusted team is what fans expect. That's why the trio of Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford, and Kenny Ellis felt so solid and reassuring. But when Barry Hunter started showing up alongside Davis, it wasn't the sight fans wanted to see. Many felt something had changed, and not for the better.
So everything is good with Calvin because it's the first time he's not the head trainer in a while.
Yeah, for sure. Calvin, again, I said Calvin's pops.
One might wonder what caused the recent changes in Gervonta Davis's camp. Speaking with Fight Hub TV, Calvin Ford shed some light on the situation. Davis fought his second PBC Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view, and like many, Ford expected a tough fight and saw how Davis's training showed up in the ring. With Tank from Baltimore and Roach from DC, Ford recalled the two sparring regularly in the gym. He respected Roach's work ethic and saw the matchup as a great opportunity. Ford insisted that people might be misreading things. We're not changing anything, he said. I just took a step back. But the training structure is still the same. The reporter clarified that there's no suggestion of a breakup or falling out between Ford and Davis.
He will always be around, you know what I mean? So, that's Pops, like I said. So he'll always be there. It's without me, without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I mean? Because at first when I came into the
They simply wanted to know if the brief separation between Gervonta Davis and Coach Calvin Ford had actually strengthened their bond, like when family members spend time apart and come back with a deeper appreciation for one another. No, he came to check on me. Ford said he was dead slow, just worried, because he knows I spend time with my amateurs. That's my piece. You both know mine, always with them. Even though Ford wasn't directly training Tank during that stretch, just knowing where he was and that he was staying focused brought Ford peace of mind. He admitted that the time apart helped both of them recognize how important their relationship really is. When Ford returned to the gym, he could feel that Tank had missed him just as much as he had missed Tank. A similar kind of mutual respect and reassurance was also echoed by Barry Hunter.
With you and Gervonta take place, being in this corner now, will you be in this corner come Saturday night?
I will be in this corner. Here's the deal. We got a long history. Calvin called me years ago. Gervonta was a little boy, maybe 8, 9 years old. Brought him up to the gym, and we've all been together ever since. Times when you don't see us, myself, and maybe Patrice Harris with him, we still write his fight plans up and everything. So we've been together.
Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well, Barry Hunter said during an interview. While it's true that Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis won't be physically in Tank's corner for the fight, Hunter made it clear that all the coaches are still involved, and it's not a sign of any major issues. He reminded everyone that this isn't the first time Tank's corner has seen changes. Hunter has worked with Gervonta since his amateur days and early pro career, so he's no outsider to the team. He also called out the internet for spreading misinformation, saying too many people make assumptions without knowing the full story. Tank is like family, Hunter emphasized. So for fans worried about a permanent shift, this appears to be just a temporary shakeup, one that could return to the original format once Gervonta Davis comes back after a few months.
Long time. Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well. If you look at his earlier fights when he first started out, the grind, like we like to call it, I've been there, even in the amateurs, so this is nothing new. Tank is like family to us, you know what I mean? Lamont is family too. But Tank, Lamont comes to the gym and spar all the time. Tank is one that we've been working.
At DC, they call me Mo. I'm just a young nigga, be out here on the Calvin is Calvin. You know what I mean? I got Calvin tatted on me. Calvin.